Good morning, and let me tell you straight off, do not adjust your television sets. I know you're looking at it, you're kind of rubbing your eyes over your cup of coffee, squinting and saying, honey, that ain't Dan Kuntz. I've been watching that feller for a long time, and that don't look like no Dan Kuntz to me. Well, you're right. I'm Art Checker. I'm filling in for Dan. Dan will be back on Monday, so well, consider yourself warned. Well, another fun show on tap for today. I got all the latest news for you. Of course, we're going to be talking about, this isn't a great story, but it's the evacuation of an entire town in Adams County. I'll tell you about that. There's warrants issued over a scheme to move a whole lot of drugs out of a Wenatchee motel. I'll tell you about that. And we're talking about counting sheep on Blewett Pass. In sports, it's been 40 days since the big brawl between the Mariners and the Angels. They met again for the first time. We'll take a look at that. We've also got another check-in with the Apple Sox. Joel Norman will bring us up to speed as the Apple Sox look to try to lock down a postseason berth. And the Seahawks, guess what they're up to? They're preparing for a very familiar opponent. We'll tell you about that as the show rolls along. We get to the back half of the show, and I'll have a chance to visit with Mark Miller. Mark Miller is the general manager of the Town Toyota Center. He's pretty excited about some of the improvements that they have on tap for the facility, and we'll address that again in the second half of the show. Let's take a look at what it's looking like outside in the great grand outdoors this morning as we're off to a beautiful start. 57 degrees currently here in Wenatchee, and as you take that look there from Wenatchee Heights, yet another beautiful morning. We saw yesterday there was a few more high clouds, but boy, today it's really shaping up nice. Then we'll shift our gaze over towards the monitor area. As you can see there, the sun is starting to illuminate that portion of this beautiful area, and it's looking gorgeous, of course. How about we go to Rock Island? Let's see what's cooking over there. Well, another gorgeous sunrise is the harbinger of another beautiful day for the folks out in Rock Island. And finally, let's move our gaze to Jump Off Ridge. I don't even want to know how they named that ridge, but as you can see that overlooking the valley, it's another gorgeous shot. Our camera's positioned about the area. They do such a great job, and it's wonderful to look in over the course of each morning. Weather forecast, what do we got? It's going to be hot early next week, so kind of be prepared for that. We always talk about being smart, protecting yourself, sunscreen, hydration. Always wear a life jacket if you're out on the water. It's a great time of year to be on the water, but as we've learned recently, again, we've been unfortunately reminded that wearing a life jacket, it may seem kind of corny, and you may think, I don't need a life jacket, I'm a good swimmer. Don't risk it. Wear a life jacket, make sure you hydrate. Today, sunny skies with a high temperature getting up to about 84 degrees, dropping down to 60 tonight, so we'll consider that cool. I don't know that we would consider it cool when we're sitting there in the throes of a snowstorm in February, but for now, we'll consider 84 pretty cool. Tomorrow, light breeze rolling through and 91 degrees as we start to see that warming trend kicking back in. By Sunday, we're into the upper 90s, and Mr. Heat drops back in the early part of next week as our midday high temperatures will be what they consider hot. 105 degrees, I don't care who you are, where you are, that's hot. Monday and Tuesday, although by Tuesday there is a chance we're going to see some showers start to roll into the area, which is going to be fairly welcome. Isolated thunderstorm chances on Wednesday, dry and breezy as you'll see, winds 10 to 20 miles an hour with some higher gusts. And you know what that means when you get that happening? If there's any new or existing wildfires, that spells danger. So again, we remind you to be very cautious about your use of campfires, and make sure your tow chains are picked up and not dragging. Don't throw your cigarette butts out the window, all of that kind of thing. And so be very cautious and be aware. Coming up, we're going to take a look at some of the news stories I talked about today, including the evacuation of an entire town in Adams County. Warrants issued over a scheme to sell drugs out of a Wenatchee hotel. And we're talking sheep on Blewett Pass. What's that all about? We'll find out. That and updated election returns and more. It's 4 minutes past the hour here on your Friday morning. Back with more. You're watching the Wake Up Wenatchee Valley program with Not Dan Kuntz on the NCW Life Channel.
Wenatchee Apple Sox Baseball is on the NCW Life Channel. Coverage is brought to you by AmeriCorps, Chelan Douglas Community Action Council, Apple Valley Honda, Bob's Burgers and Brew, Global Car Care, Harvest Valley Pest Control, JDSA Law, Mini Blinds, and more. That Pizza Place in Cashmere, Together for Youth, Wenatchee Valley Dispute Resolution Center, and Walkabout Grill. It's Apple Sox Baseball, live on your local TV station, the NCW Life Channel.
It has really been a great partnership between Succession and NCW Life. It's not always easy to sit in front of a camera or a microphone, but you guys have made it a really nice process.
And good morning once again. It is Friday, August 5th, and here's some of the news stories we're looking at today. In Lind, the town of Lind, that is up in Adams County, the entire town was evacuated Thursday afternoon because of a wildfire. The fire was first reported at 11:45 a.m., burning in grass and brush. Shortly after, the Adams County Sheriff's Office said 10 homes had been destroyed. Evacuated residents were told to go to the grade school in Ritzville. And then by early on Thursday afternoon, the fire had burned at least 2,000 acres south of the town of about 500 residents. Well, 2 women are sought on warrants for an alleged part in a conspiracy to sell large amounts of methamphetamine and fentanyl out of a Wenatchee motel. 37-year-old Ashley Catherine Young of Wenatchee and 27-year-old Beatrice Louisiane Mendez of Yakima were charged this week with 2 counts each of drug possession with intent to deliver. The Columbia River Task Force says that the 2 worked with 3 men, Nabil Akhdari, Tyson J. Horner, and Brandon Lux, who allegedly kept 1.5 pounds of meth and 1,000 fentanyl pills in a motel room for sale. Now, 2 of the men were charged with possession with intent in federal court. A Chelan County judge issued warrants for Young and Mendez on Tuesday. An Army sergeant pleaded guilty to charges of voyeurism and reported to the Chelan County Jail. In December of 2019, 31-year-old Stephen Jacob Olson was staying in a vacation rental home on Blewett Pass when he allegedly placed a hidden camera in the bathroom to record his housemates. Some people said he was a looker. That's not what they meant. Olson initially faced 5 counts of a first-degree voyeurism and agreed in Chelan County Court to plead guilty to 2 counts while still denying that he had committed the crime. He's due to be sentenced in September on the 14th when he could face a 4-month sentence. Olson, who now lives in Texas, asked to be jailed immediately in order to earn credit for time served. He must also register as a sex offender upon his release. Updated election results. Voting results posted on Wednesday showed that Matt Larkin extended his lead over fellow Republican Reagan Dunn as the 2 battled to oppose 8th Congressional District Representative Kim Schreier in the November general election. After leading Dunn by fewer than 100 votes after Tuesday's primary election night count, Larkin is now ahead by more than 2,500 votes. There are still thousands of votes left to be counted in the 6-county district, including King County, where Dunn has seen his strongest support. Schreier, a Democrat, easily advanced to the general election in her effort to secure a 3rd term in Congress. Well, twice a year, the Washington State Department of Transportation acts as a crossing guard up on Blewett Pass for about 2,000 sheep as they are moved to new grazing land. I just want to know who counted those sheep. You know what happens when you count sheep. That happened again on Tuesday as they were moved to that new grazing land. State reported everything went smoothly for the sheep, a few shepherds, and a few very good dogs. That's a look at some of the news stories we've got going on this morning. Don't forget to tune in tonight at 5, 6, and 10 as Grant Olson will take a look at these stories and more. Grant?
Good Friday morning, Arch. Coming up tonight on the NCW Life Evening News, we'll have the latest Wenatchee area unemployment figures from the State Employment Security Department. Expect another cool, mild weather day again today before our next heat wave begins on Sunday. I'll let you know how long the heat will last in your complete North Central Washington weather forecast. And in sports, Eric Granstrom has a look at the upcoming Mariners series beginning tonight against the Angels and has results and reaction to the Apple Sox Pippins game last night. That and all the day's news stories coming your way tonight at 5, 6, and 10 on the NCW Life Evening News. We hope to see you then. Arch?
If you'd like to get a hold of us, if you have a news story you'd like to share, there are many ways to do so. Maybe you just want to call us and let us know that Grant Olson's tie selection is on point. Maybe you just want to call and tell us what a great job Eric Granstrom does when he's broadcasting baseball games like he's doing tonight for the Apple Sox as they return home. Or maybe you just want to say, where the hell's Dan Kuntz? We want him back. Either way, there are a lot of ways to get a hold of us. As you see down below, ncwlife.com. You can check us out on the Facebook page. You can call the office at 888-NCWL. That translates to 6295. So those are ways to get a hold of us. We encourage you to do so if you'd like to touch base. Hey, we like to talk to people. We're very much in the communication business. Up next, it's sports. It's been 40 days. We'll tell you what happened 40 days ago as we look at the Mariners weekend series. The Apple Sox still chasing a playoff berth. We've got a look at the Seattle Seahawks. They're going to be facing a very familiar opponent here very soon. We'll tell you more about that. Sports is on the way next. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I'm Arch Ecker, and this is your NCW Life channel.
Getting ready for the boating season is easy with the help of Bob File Boats and Motors. Now's the time of year to upgrade your boat from a new motor, a bow mount, installing a state-of-the-art GPS fish finder, or just fixing your trailer lights. Make your appointment today. With marine technology changing fast, the service department stays up to date with the newest developments and factory certifications. Spend more time on the water and less time at the shore. Get ready for summer fun now at Bob File Boats and Motors.
Brian's Pizza and Bowling is changing their name to That Pizza Place. Now there's still your same favorite locally owned family pizza and bowling center, That Pizza Place. Come hang out in downtown Cashmere.
The NCW Life Channel offers marketing packages that help you build your brand and sell your products and services. From traditional TV ads to targeted digital campaigns, let us help you build your customer base. Call NCW Life Channel today.
40 days. It's a long time. A lot can happen in 40 days, except for 50 days. That can't happen in 40 days, although I did spend a week in Virginia one month. But at any rate, I don't even know why I picked Virginia. It has nothing to do with anything. But it's been 40 days since the brawl.
Left fielder Jesse Winker will lead things off, swinging a hot bat. 9 for 18. Here's the pitch, and it's inside, and that hits Winker. And Andrew Wantz hits him, and Wantz has to go, and so does Phil Nevin. Winker walking slowly out in front of home plate, and now he's getting chirped at by the Angel players. Winker going over toward the dugout, and both benches are emptying. Winker going to the Angels dugout. He is right in there. They're starting to throw punches. Holy smokes, we got a full melee going on in the on-deck circle. Everybody throwing punches. Angels out there, Mariners out there. And that was inside. It hit Winker. Winker had a few words with Stassi, walked over to the dugout, and now the umpires have their hands full trying to separate guys. Holy smokes, we have a melee in the on-deck circle. Guys are still fighting one another. They're still going at it. They're trying to separate players in the middle of the scrum, but this is one of the worst fights we have seen in a long, long time. Tensions were heated right away at the very start of the ball game, with Wentz throwing high and in behind Julio Rodriguez. No doubt about the intent on that one. And now Winker is hit by Wentz here in the top half of the second. Holy smokes.
Oh, this is terrible. This is terrible.
This is one of the worst I've seen, Aaron, in a long time.
Crawford throwing full punches. Winker throwing full punches. Obviously,
And it's
don't
going
go
again.
side again.
And it's going again.
And Service is right there in it.
And now that whole mad circle has moved out toward the third base line. We got Taylor Trammell holding back one Angel near the dugout, while there's about 50 guys in a circle in the line between third and home plate. We've got a couple of guys on the ground being held back, and more guys are still trying to get at one another. This is one of the worst I've seen in a long, long time.
I cannot believe that the umpires did not throw Wentz out of the ball game when he threw behind Julio.
Well, the Mariners ended up losing that game 2-1, and at the time it dropped them to 6 games below 500 and fourth place in the American League West. They lost Jesse Winker for 6 games, J.P. Crawford for a couple of games, and Julio Rodriguez for 1 game due to suspensions from the event called the Brawl. 40 days. Hey, Noah built an ark that had lasted for 40 days. It was a long 40 days. But in the 40 days since the Brawl, the Mariners are 23-9. The Angels are 9-21. So opposing fortunes over those last 40 days. Seattle has moved into second in the wild card spot in the American League. Julio became an all-star. JP is now in line for another Gold Glove. And Jesse Winker is becoming a folk hero. The two teams meet for the first time in 40 days tonight at T-Mobile Park at 7:10 p.m. Robbie Ray will be on the mound. He'll be facing Patrick Sandoval. You can watch the action, of course, on Root Sports Northwest. Let's go back to the AL West scoreboard. The LA Angels coming off an 8-7 loss to Oakland. This despite 2 home runs from Shohei Ohtani. Houston was busy blanking Cleveland 6-0 as Justin Verlander and 3 relievers combined on a 3-hit shutout. Verlander improves to 15-3 on the season. Leody Taveras was 2 for 3 with a run and an RBI in Texas' 3-2 win over the White Sox. Meanwhile, Tampa Bay gained a little ground on Seattle in the AL wildcard chase. The Rays beat Detroit 6-2 to move within a half game of the Mariners for that second wildcard spot. Toronto remains in the top spot by 3 games after a 9-3 win over Minnesota. Boston dropped to 4 games out with a 7-3 loss to Kansas City. Well, for the Wenatchee Apple Sox, their late comeback bid fell short in Yakima last night as the Apple Sox fell to the Pippins 5-4. Yakima Valley broke open a scoreless tie in the 5th with 2 runs and another 3 in the 6th. The radio voice of the Apple Sox, Joel Norman, tells us more about the action at Yakima County Stadium last night.
The Wenatchee Apple Sox fell to the Yakima Valley Pippins by a 5-4 score on Thursday night in the rubber match at Yakima County Stadium. The Apple Sox scored all 4 of their runs in the top of the 8th inning and even put the game-tying run potentially at second base in the 9th with 1 out, but a double play ball ended the ball game. Wenatchee hit into 3 double plays on Thursday night and did not get on the board, as I mentioned, until the 8th. They committed 3 errors, but also were able to cash in thanks to 3 Pippins errors as well. Jack Moffitt struck out 5 in 5 solid innings. He did allow 3 runs, but all of them were unearned. In the final 3 innings on the mound, Will Jacobson did allow a couple of runs in his first inning of work, but buckled down after that to strike out a season-best 5 over those 3 innings. Wenatchee remains tied for first in the North Division with the Edmonton Riverhawks after Edmonton rallied to win on Thursday night. The Apple Sox hold the tiebreaker over them and pretty much need at least 1 or 2 wins this weekend to officially clinch a spot. I believe with 1 win, they will be in to the postseason. With your Apple Sox update, I'm Joel Norman.
Well, the Apple Sox return home, and a playoff berth is on the line tonight. Apple Sox taking on the Walla Walla Sweets at Hull Thomas Senior Stadium. First pitch is 6:35. We'll have the game broadcast live right here on the NCW Life channel with Eric Granstrom providing the play-by-play, and that will start at 6:30. As we move into the other West Coast League scores, Edmonton moved into a first-place tie with Wenatchee after rallying to score 5 runs in the top of the 9th inning, beating Port Angeles 6-3. Bellingham plated 4 runs in the 3rd, 3 more in the 6th, as they beat Victoria 8-3. Colin Blanchard led the way for the Bells with 2 hits and 2 runs. Zach Beatty's 2-run home run in the bottom of the 7th gave Kamloops a 5-3 win over Kelowna. Keith Jones had the second hit. Keith Jones, the second, hit a 3-run single in the 5-run 5th inning for Portland as he helped lead the Pickles past Cowlitz 13-8. Ben's Christian Cooney broke open a scoreless tie in the 8th inning with a 2-run triple to lead the Elks over Corvallis 3-0. And according to the scorecard, Walla Walla's Leo Rivera moved around and played all 9 positions during the Sweets' 7-2 win over Ridgefield. He was also 1 for 4 at the plate with an RBI. The West Coast League's North Division's second half, they have the standings showing Wenatchee and Edmonton tied at 13-11 heading into the final weekend of play. Victoria is just a half game back, their record 13-12. So Wenatchee opening their series tonight with Walla Walla to conclude the regular season. And in other action, Edmonton's on the road at Victoria. Bellingham hosts Kamloops, Corvallis at Ridgefield. Bend will take on Cowlitz. Yakima Valley visits Kelowna. Nanaimo hosting the Port Angeles Lefties. And Springfield will play at Portland. Now, should Bellingham catch everyone this weekend and win that second half title, it all comes down to overall records between the two halves of the season to determine the other 3 playoff spots. If that happens, that would put Kamloops, Wenatchee, and Edmonton into the postseason. Corvallis won the first half in the West Coast League's South Division title, so they're in. Portland and Yakima Valley are the only 2 that have a chance to catch the Knights for the second half title. So there is a lot to be decided across the West Coast League over the next 3 days. You big race fan? Well, if you'd like to take in some racing fans and help out a good cause, Wenatchee Super Oval is the place to be tomorrow night. It's Les Schwab night at the world-famous Wenatchee Valley Super Oval. The gang at Les Schwab will be out there taking donations for the NCW Community Toy Drive. Over 2,800 children were provided toys in North Central Washington last year thanks to the toy drive, and this will be your chance to help. Racing will feature the Rockstar Energy B-Mods, the Plum Perfect Roadrunners, Vintage Modifieds, and AMCW Dwarf Cars. Gates open at 4:30, with the racing getting underway at 6 o'clock. Well, the Seattle Seahawks, as I mentioned, taking on a very familiar opponent. It's almost like looking in the mirror. Well, they're taking on the Seahawks. See, after 2 weeks of training camp, the Seahawks are going to play a mock game tomorrow, 2:30 at Lumen Field. Seattle is yet a week away from their first preseason game at Pittsburgh, and a lot will be learned in the battle between Geno Smith and Drew Lock for the starting quarterback position over the course of the next 8 days. Unofficially, the NFL did get underway last night with a Hall of Fame game. It was shortened a bit because of incoming thunderstorms. They started about 40 minutes late, introduced the Hall of Fame class of 2022. The Raiders faced the Jaguars, a lot of the B squads facing each other, but in the end, the Raiders picked up the win. And NFL is underway unofficially, at any rate. The opening night, I believe, is September 8th or 9th, that Thursday. And then the Seahawks and everyone else will hit the skids there with an 0-0 record and Super Bowl dreams languishing in their minds. All right, let's take a look at today's obscure holiday. Doesn't get more obscure than this. Partially obscured. It's National Underwear Day. Did you wear your underwear today? Seriously. You don't have to lie to me. I can take the truth. It's an opportunity to wear your favorite undergarments. Now, some people like to shift it up a little bit, and that's okay. Whether it's briefs, boxers, panties, tighty-whities, underthings, provide a layer of comfort that's really unmatched. Although there's probably better reasons to wear fresh underwear. You know, your mom used to always tell you, right? Make sure you put on that clean underwear. You never know if you might be in an accident. Thanks, Mom. There's better reasons, but you know what? Underwear is the layer of clothing. It's worn closest to the body, so kind of protects your body from the outer clothing, protects the outer clothing from you. And while some see these intimate items as of our wardrobe as necessities, others will utilize them as accessories. And of course, there's a lot of folks like to wear their jeans down around their hips and show off their underwears, but that's a whole other different topic. I don't really want to get into that one. You know, in 2018, retailers said that the increase of popularity of nude colors in undergarments really took a bright jump. Instead of fashion colors or the sultry bedroom styles that you see, the skin blending shades that disappear under sheer outer clothes, those were all the rage. National Underwear Day, being celebrated today on August 5th. Okay, today in history, 402 years ago today, the Mayflower left Southampton, England. Carrying would-be settlers, it was his first attempt to make it to North America, but guess what? The Mayflower didn't make it. Nope. Nobody talks about that part. Everybody knows the Mayflower brought pilgrims here, right? Nobody knows that the Mayflower failed in its first attempt. What happened was they had a dock in Dartmouth. They had a companion ship called the Speedwell, and it sprung a leak. And so the Mayflower and the Speedwell had to pull over in Dartmouth and roll back and reload and start all over again. And of course, eventually the Mayflower did land here, and well, the rest is, as they say, history. This day in history, August 5th, 161 years ago, back in 1861, the American Civil War, in order to help pay for the war effort, the United States government levied the first income tax as part of the Revenue Act of 1861. So it wasn't just a clever name. 1861 was when it happened. 3% of all incomes over $800 were levied, and it ended up being rescinded 11 years later in 1872. But hey, they started collecting taxes, and now they're into it, man. They love collecting those taxes. 60 years ago today, on August 5th of 1962, American actress Marilyn Monroe was found dead in her home of a drug overdose. Those are some of the things from this day in history. And as we move on to celebrity birthdays, who is celebrating a birthday today? Not me. Not Uriah either, our esteemed engineer back there behind the glass. He's not celebrating a birthday either. In fact, it's a very merry birthday to many, including Dan Kuntz, who couldn't be here today because, well, he's celebrating his not birthday. Any reason to celebrate for Dan is good enough. Neil Armstrong actually was born on this date in 1930. Neil Armstrong, American pilot, engineer, and of course, the first man to set foot on the moon, famous for his phrase, "A small step for a man and a giant leap for mankind." And it's interesting that phrase has been misquoted. He's corrected it over the years. He said it's a small step for a man, but it didn't come through on the transmission that well. Imagine that, trying to get a radio transmission from the moon. And it broke up a little bit. Heck, sometimes you can't get a station 10 minutes out of town. But he said, what he really said was, it's a small step for a man and a giant leap for mankind. An incredible moment back in 1969 when he set foot on the moon, and Buzz Aldrin, of course, followed him. Neil Armstrong, born on this day in 1930. He passed away in 2012. He was 82. Lonnie Anderson. Well, folks of a certain age will certainly recall Lonnie Anderson. She adorned many posters in many young men's rooms over the years. She was best known for her role as Jennifer Marlowe on the TV show WKRP in Cincinnati. She was also married to Burt Reynolds, and she and he adorned many magazine covers for quite some time. Lonnie Anderson is now 77. She celebrates her birthday today. Well, coming up next, I'm going to be visiting with Mark Miller. He is the general manager of the Town Toyota Center. Town Toyota Center, the crown jewel of the Valley. It's been here and cooking since about 2008, roughly. We'll talk a little bit about the history of the building and some of the planned upgrades that are underway right now, some of which will be visible, some maybe not as visible, but noticeable. So watch for that. That's coming up as I visit with Mark Miller. Wake Up Wenatchee Valley continues in just a moment. I'm Arch Ecker, and this is the NCW Life Channel.
I'm here at Boswell's Home Furnishings to announce one of their newest lines of furniture, Builtwell, an amazing local furniture maker in Oregon.
Hi, can I help you?
I was just telling my friends.
About Builtwell? They have exquisite craftsmanship, superior construction. I love their designs. Builtwell is a great addition to the wide selection of quality furniture you'll find here at Boswell's.
Boswell's Furniture on Easy Street. It's closer than you think.
The 2022 Grant County Fair in Moses Lake is bigger and better than ever. Washington's largest egg-based fair features hundreds of animals, amazing food, and the Davis Carnival rides. And if that isn't enough, see supergroup Lone Star and country standout Cameron Marlowe on the Brian Miller stage. Come celebrate a return to normalcy with Stars, Stripes, and Fair Delights at the 2022 Grant County Fair. For tickets and more info, visit grantcountyfairgrounds.com.
I'm John Divis from Wenatchee Dental Arts, and I like to think myself as a comprehensive dentist. We are an office that treats people comprehensively for their dental problems. We do a lot of general dentistry in a broad sense. We don't send everything out. Things that we have the ability to do in the office, we like to keep in the office and under one roof and keep things as complication-free as possible. You can come to one place and have all their dental needs taken care of.
You've got a lot to do today. While you're out and about, remember to dispose of your unused medications safely and anonymously. It's a simple act that makes your home a safer place. Next time you're at the pharmacy, just place them in the drop box. To find a location, visit medproject.org.
Transform your windows with a variety of colors and styles like the Allure Transitional Window Covering by Lafayette Interior Fashions. Hi, this is Darren with Mini Blinds and More. We can install the latest and greatest in technology to open and close your blinds with only a touch of a button. From the largest windows in your home to room darkening shades for the bedroom. From stylish shades for your entertainment room to custom blinds for those hard-to-fit places. We have a solution for all of your window covering needs. We offer a variety of window coverings from Lafayette Interior Fashions. Call us today. We are Mini Blinds and More, your local blind store.
Wenatchee Apple Sox baseball is on the NCW Life channel. Coverage is brought to you by AmeriCorps, Chelan Douglas Community Action Council, Apple Valley Honda, Bob's Burgers and Brew, Global Car Care, Harvest Valley Pest Control, JDSA Law, Mini Blinds and more. That Pizza Place in Cashmere, Together for Youth, Wenatchee Valley Dispute Resolution Center, and Walkabout Grill. It's Apple Sox baseball live on your local TV station, the NCW Life channel.
Are you frustrated because you feel like you aren't getting the internet speeds you pay for? One of the most common ways to test your internet connection is called a speed test. These are free and easily located on the internet and can tell you how fast your internet is. However, for certain reasons, these tests may not always be accurate. A speed test shows you how fast a file can be downloaded to the computer you're running the test on. However, there are many things that can affect the speed of that download besides the speed of the internet going into your home. A few of the things that can affect your internet speed are poor Wi-Fi signal, other wireless signals interfering with the wireless signals coming from your router, other devices in your home draining your bandwidth, your computer or phone running apps programs in the background that you aren't aware of, slowing your entire device. Any of these things can slow down your internet. Your internet is like water flowing down a pipe. There's a big pipe bringing internet to your local area, and a smaller pipe coming off of that bringing internet to your home address. Your router is just another pipe that brings the internet inside your house, and every device inside your home is like a pipe connected to the router. Just like with water, if any of those pipes along the way are too small for the amount of internet that needs to flow through for a family, the flow for everything down the line will be much slower. It's a lot like trying to push all the water going into your house through a small straw. Also, again, just like with water, if everyone in your home is using the internet at once, any individual device may not be able to receive the full flow of the internet. It's like your whole family trying to drink out of that small straw all at once. If you're struggling with internet that is slower than expected, make sure that all of the devices that your internet flows through are working correctly, and check all devices in your home for background programs that may be using the internet. If everything still appears to be working correctly, contact us and we'll be able to help.
It's the NCW Life Community Calendar, brought to you by Clean Connection. The Hot August Night series continues at the America Pack with the production of Pippin, August 9th through the 13th. Tickets are limited and can be purchased in advance at the box office or by visiting americapack.org. Close for the Classroom is back on Saturday, August 13th at the Saddle Rock Evangelical Church. New clothes, backpacks filled with school supplies, and more. Pre-register your child at the Serve Wenatchee website.
With all the variety on SureStream TV from LocalTel, there's always something to watch. But what if you hit the couch in the middle of all the shows? That's a perfect time to use the features Catch Up or Restart. Catch up on shows from up to 3 days ago. or restart your show from the beginning. Go to your guide and select the show to restart. Then play, pause, rewind on your schedule. Don't forget, SureStream TV from LocalTel lets you decide when shows begin.
Crystal's Restaurant and Lounge in Leavenworth has a warm environment to enhance your dining experience. Serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner 7 days a week. Crystal's Intimate Lounge is a wonderful place to relax and dine with beautiful views of the mountains. Do you have a special occasion coming up? Call Crystal's to reserve their event space. Whether your event is grand, intimate, or casual, Crystal's provides unforgettable food and superb service. Crystal's Restaurant and Lounge, proud to be serving fabulous food and drinks.
Okay, this is Mike Mad Dog McNaughty, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, I recently saw an ad for an investment opportunity on Facebook. And I've heard other advertisements to invest my money on the radio and other such places. And my question is this: if this particular investment opportunity is so great, why is somebody who wants me and every other jamoke out there to give them their money, why are they doing it on Facebook or on the radio? I mean, good grief. I mean, if the return on investment opportunity is so great, why do they have to go to the public with it? You know, if I knew of a sure way to invest and rake in the dough, I'd be tempted to keep it myself or share it with people who are close to me, not cut an ad on KPQ. Good God. This is Mike Mad Dog McNaughty, and that's my opinion.
Wenatchee Apple Sox Baseball is on the NCW Life channel. Coverage is brought to you by AmeriCorps, Chelan Douglas Community Action Council, Apple Valley Honda, Bob's Burgers and Brew, Global Card Care, Harvest Valley Pest Control, JDSA Law, Mini Blinds, and more. That Pizza Place in Cashmere, Together for Youth, Wenatchee Valley Dispute Resolution Center, and Walkabout Grill. It's Apple Sox Baseball, live on your local TV station, the NCW Life channel.
If you could live anywhere, where would it be? And what would it be like? With today's home values, this is the perfect time to sell and make those dreams real. When you work with a world-class agent at Coldwell Banker, you benefit from trusted guidance and our revolutionary seller's assurance program to make your home sale more rewarding than ever. So it really is true. Your dreams don't have to be just dreams.
Mondays are happy hour all day long at Bob's Burgers and Brew in East Wenatchee. Great deals on appetizers, martinis, specialty drinks, wine, well drinks, and draft beers. Bob's Burgers and Brew in East Wenatchee. Come on in. They look forward to serving you.
The NCW Life channel offers marketing packages that help you build your brand and sell your products and services. From traditional TV ads to targeted digital campaigns, let us help you build your customer base. Call NCW Life channel today.
Hey everyone, Fletcher and Amy Ellington here from Live It Up. In the investment world, ROI stands for Return on Investment. Well, how does better health, better wealth, and better relationships sound for ROI? Join us every week right here on NCW Life and learn how to invest in the most important asset, you.
We're going to answer your questions and provide some weekly inspiration so you can create a life that you love. Join us on Live It Up.
Did you know that nearly 50% of pet poisoning cases involve human medications and prescription drugs? Sometimes the culprit's a curious dog, but cats get into their share of trouble as well. Other times, pet owners mistakenly give their pets their own medications that are safe to people but toxic to their pets. Dr. Shauna Baez and her staff care about your pets. Go to pawsandclawsvh.com for a complete list of medications to avoid or call 888-PAWS.
Hello, my name is Brian Brett, the Fire Chief for Chelan County Fire District 1, and I just wanted to talk about how amazing our Rivercom team is. They are intentional, purposeful, and skillful in everything they do, and they are the best at what they do. How they prepare, how they handle the caller, how they coordinate the emergency services, and how they push themselves to be the best. This is the kind of spirit that our Rivercom telecommunicators have. Our community needs you, we need you, we admire you, you're our lifeline.
The NCW Life Channel offers marketing packages that help you build your brand and sell your products and services. From traditional TV ads to targeted digital campaigns, let us help you build your customer base. Call NCW Life Channel today.
It has really been a great partnership between Succession and NCW Life. It's not always easy to sit in front of a camera or a microphone, but you guys have made it a really nice process.
The new Hummer EV is everything you want in an all-electric vehicle. It's powerful, reliable, comfortable, and will take you anywhere you want to go, on-road or off. Why buy one of those lesser EVs when you can have one that uses them for traction? Order your Hummer pickup or SUV today from Sangster Motors, batteries included.
Let Mary Maid's custom cleaning experts help you clean up your to-do list. Between work, kids, and pets, it's hard to find time to keep up. Let Mary Maids of Wenatchee help. Mary Maid's cleaning experts can help keep your home or business fresh, neat, and exactly how you'd clean it if you only had the time. Call now for a free estimate, 509-663-1710. Serving Chelan and Douglas counties. Mary Maids, let us help.
Ready to go in 3, 2, and welcome back. Here we are with Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, our Friday morning edition, and we're sitting out in front of the Town Toyota Center. It's been called the crown jewel of the Wenatchee Valley and even beyond. What a beautiful facility we have here, and we're very blessed to have it. Joining me this morning is the general manager of said facility, Mark Miller. We're going to talk a little bit about the history of this building, how it came to be back in 2008, probably started a little before that, before it actually opened the doors, but we'll talk about that, and also some very exciting developments and new upgrades that are on the docket. So Mark, thanks for taking time to join us today.
Thank you. And also Wolfston, known as Town Toyota Center, as hosting the Wenatchee Wild
exactly.
The last dozen years.
Yeah, so 2008 was when the Wenatchee Wild began playing, had that big home opening series, 3 games. Topeka came in. Of course, the first night, the Wild didn't score a goal. That was kind of anticlimactic, but the Wild ended up having a very, very good year that year. But take us back a little bit prior to that and the genesis of the building of this facility and how it came to be.
Well, obviously, what the original thought was, if in the wintertime, here we are in between Seattle and Spokane, and if you don't ski or drink wine, is really looking for a major attraction to have, and that would be behind us, Town Toyota Center, that not only can host Wenatchee Wild hockey, but obviously the many varied trade shows, concert events that actually gives a destination to Wenatchee in that winter season. Of course, summer season, hey, here we are in God's country, you can deal with everything. So that was the entire genesis, and then obviously that transforms in to over $7 million a year of economic impact that's generated by said events here too. So been a win-win for the community for a number of years now.
That economic impact can't be understated, because I think a lot of people forget about that. They think about, well, maybe we had a little tax levy or whatever it is that may have gone into the building. They think, well, it's an expense, but boy, it pays back to the community over and over again, multifold.
It is always an ongoing absolute endeavor to get those type of events, whether they're figure skating tournaments, softball tournaments, or whatever they can be, that can come into your area. But from the building behind me with Town Toyota Center, that means that $7 million that doesn't leave our area to go to Spokane, Yakima, Seattle, or whatever it is. Those $7 million are spent in our little beautiful valley here. So happy to be a small part of that.
So hockey, of course, has been a sort of an anchor tenant here since 2008 when the doors opened. Were there events in the building prior to hockey?
Well, as a matter of fact, opened up with a quilt show. It was the very first event that was here as it was getting started. That hockey and soccer started out as main tenants, and hockey has obviously been just beloved in the way that people have entertained and embraced the many wild players throughout the year. And then it's so fun too. You see just the success, not just of the entertainment value, but the hockey kids that come through. We got a number of NHL kids now, and how many people of those hockey players have turned that into to college experiences as well. So it's been very great to see those kids grow up and come back and give back.
Well, certainly, obviously, I have a little vested interest in the hockey part of it, but just the building itself. It's held so many different variety of events, as you've mentioned, everything from rodeos to concerts and whatnot. As you look back over the time that you've been here, what are a couple of the big name concerts that really stand out to you as very successful, huge events?
I think Steve Miller Band, ZZ Top was a whole lot of fun. Jeff Dunham was actually, I remember when Dunham was here, I was actually in the crowd toward the end, and Dunham's the puppet, right? Yeah, he's a ventriloquist, and he would interrupt the dummy telling a joke. And I remember saying out loud, "Jeff, stop interrupting." So you get totally entranced into what he does, into that part. And you got to mention Kelly Clarkson. That was when the vote was to come in to finance the construction of the arena, and that was all in that 2012 area. And Kelly Clarkson sells out that concert, kind of a real defining moment for Town Toyota Center in that era.
You had Rodney Carrington, you had REO Speedwagon and Great White. I think Styx has been here
a number of times. They have Leonard Skinner as well. Leanne Rimes, Sheryl Crow. Wow, that might have been the best pure concert singer I think I may have seen, as well as others. From Republican conventions to arts and trade shows. The KPQ Home Show, a number of years. Roller derby also actually had a big sellout in that neck of the woods. So it's been a whole lot of fun.
This building is going through a series of upgrades, and we're going to talk about those in just a moment. But before we jump into that, I just wanted to give you an opportunity to acknowledge the crew that you have here that has been, in the time that I've been here over the last 6 years, outstanding. You got your Chris Berg, Craig Anderson. Those guys are irreplaceable. And there's many others, but I wanted to give you a chance to acknowledge them.
Oh, gosh, too, with Aaron Harvey, then Cindy Hurt, and going back with Jennifer Bouchon and Michelle and Aaron Hastings. We've been very, very lucky with a very strong, responsible crew. Louise Kapakis as well. In fact, we've had, you ready for this? 2 operations managers in 12 years, 1 box office manager, 2 marketing managers. So it's been a destination type place where we haven't been, a turnover of staff who's given their heart and soul into making the events come to the community. And you look at in the figure skating part, we talked about with the Wenatchee Wild success of winning the Page Cup in that year. Even the years that the Wild don't win, massively competitive from day one. And the figure skating now has Liam Kapakis, who grew up here, is now the 7th rated male figure skater, open division, any age in the United States of America, and maybe on an Olympic track. So yet again, without a facility and then envisioned to put something like this together, you wouldn't see those things here in the Valley.
The improvements that are underway now, they're not just a couple of piecemeal improvements. I mean, this is a pretty widespread. You got a lot of bases that you're covering in this current upgrade. So just tell us about some of the things that people will see that are evident, and maybe a couple that they may not see but will somehow sense.
Well, and the beauty of this, obviously with these upgrades, is this is zero tax base. And the Town Toyota Center, when it was put together, it was put together on its own, to where not to go back to our county or city residents. And so these upgrades yet again are doing on that same vein. And first of all, you'll see right now, hey, we're in the parking lot, which is obviously brand new, sealed and striped. And along those lines too, when you walk in to the Town Toyota Center and what's coming up with the Wenatchee Wine Awards, with WWE Wrestling and Queensryche, and then the Wenatchee World Oktoberfest will be here, you'll notice an entire new complete interior painting scheme. So yet again, overdue, and so that's the first thing that will jump out at you. Massive upgrades too in the flooring, and that was the rubber flooring. We're skates, not just hockey skates, but public skates. That area now going to be totally rubber matted for skates. In the suites too, you've got a re-upgrade there with all new flooring packages, and some of the things that you may not see but you'll enjoy is the tap lines that brings beer from our concession area to the customer, all brand new, state of the art. And ice is what we do. Well, obviously the only 2 permanent ice rinks here in the north central NCW Valley is we have now the chiller had major work done. Yet again, it's been 12 years old. That maintenance was on a 20-year cycle, so that's now been accomplished. And to make sure that we have ice for the upcoming season on aging facilities, and also the heating and the air conditioner compressors. Yet again, maybe Borny talk about big deals. A lot of people work very hard, so those compressors have been replaced, and to get us ready for the upcoming times. And another one you may not see, but you will notice, Wi-Fi has been upgraded to where your phones and trade shows will have a little less lag time. And I laugh, hey, that's it is the deal. So that also is part of the upgrades that's going on here at Town Toyota Center, which will be ready for wild season come October.
Sounds great, and some roofing work has been done too.
Well, the Weinstein rink behind us, yet again, is actually heated by gas. That has been changed to electricity, and there are we're looking at a dam over my right shoulder, correct? Cheapest electricity in the country.
Here, yeah.
So we'll be able to take advantage of that. And the part about having the gas heating in there is you've got to expel some of that the pipes through the roof, which obviously over time any sort of hole in the roof will grow, right? And that's done. So those leaks have been taken away. So many of our user groups have noticed when it rains, you'll notice that. So that'll be gone. So excited about the upgrades for the Weinstein rink as well.
It's a pretty exciting time, not just for you personally, but for your staff. And you can kind of feel the electricity as you talk to people that work here as they come in and out of the building, and we talk about some of the things that are being done. And everybody's just really ramped up and excited. And it's kind of like putting not just literally a new coat of paint, but really just building this thing up to be something, hey, look at what we've got here. Look how beautiful this is. A lot of pride goes into, and like you were saying, the people come here and they work here for a long time, so they've kind of got a personal feeling about being able to show this off.
And in our industry, we do work weekends. It's part of what it is, but then you have to work during the week to get stuff to have on the weekends. So you do spend an inordinate amount of time here at the Town Toyota Center when you're either a volunteer or employee. So then it's like at home. You get a new couch, got a little giddy up in your step. So it's very nice for us all to see this, and we're really looking forward to showcasing it this fall as our events begin to unroll.
Some of the big dates coming up. The Queensryche show is, I believe, September 19th.
Very good.
Is that correct? Queensryche with Slaughter and Great White.
That is correct.
Correct. And then on October 21st, the Wenatchee Wild home opener against the West Kelowna Warriors. It's just a couple of the things that are coming up here at this beautiful facility, the Town Toyota Center. My guest today has been the general manager of the facility, Mark Miller. Thank you again for taking time. It's always a pleasure to chat with you.
By the way, you mentioned the West Kelowna with the Wild cranking up. You're going to see an extravagant little bit of something extra for people that come in and aren't expecting for the for the game presentation for the Wild season of West Kelowna. Little fun tease.
Just a little fun tease. We're definitely looking forward to it. Thanks for watching, and this is Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
This weekend, the Apple Sox wrap up the regular season when they take on the Walla Walla Sweets. First pitch on Friday and Saturday is at 6:35 p.m. and 1:05 p.m. on a family fun Sunday. Friday night is presented by Confluence Health, followed by Hawaiian Night on Saturday. Our friends at Sunny FM and Journey Travel and Tours will be giving away a free trip to Hawaii to a lucky fan. With playoffs just around the corner, the Sox are fired up and excited for a packed house. Get your tickets now at saferseating.com.
At D.A. Davidson in Wenatchee, they believe your investment success begins with a personalized plan. A plan that is the roadmap you need to navigate your way to living your best years in retirement. D.A. Davidson can help you create a plan so you can take the time to enjoy the finer things in life. Let the financial advisors at D.A. Davidson help chart your retirement future today.
The new Hummer EV is everything you want in an all-electric vehicle. It's powerful, reliable, comfortable, and will take you anywhere you want to go, on-road or off. Why buy one of those lesser EVs when you can have one that uses them for traction? Order your Hummer pickup or SUV today from Sangster Motors, batteries included.
When you call Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning, you're calling on 35 plus years of experience in the Wenatchee Valley. Spending extra time in your home, you may have discovered an unwanted aroma. Stinky feet, pets, who knows what. Call Dick's today about installing their Train Clean Effects electronic air cleaner or a Rheem Halo ultraviolet air purifier. Either way, the air quality in your home will be improved. Proudly servicing all of North Central Washington, call 884-6444 today.
Well, as we reach the tail end of this program, I'll remind you that on Monday, Dan Kuntz will return to his familiar spot. But for the last 3 days, I've been filling in for him, and it has been an absolute delight. Thank you for inviting me into your homes and your phones and your laptops and whatnot. And I'm glad to have been here and been able to be a part of it. I got to tip my hat to Dan for making this job look a lot harder than it really is. But also, I do want to give you an update. This is some good news. Earlier in the show, we talked about the town of Lind in Adams County and how the entire town had to be evacuated because of fire. The latest update is that last night, everyone was allowed to return home, and there were no issues or casualties. So we're very, very, very happy to report that for the folks out in Lind. Let's take a look at the weather forecast for the next couple of days, as we are just a couple of minutes away from the top of the hour. Currently in Wenatchee, it's 57 degrees. You know where it's cold right now? Stampede Pass. If you're up in that area, it's only 44. A little bit of a mist blowing there, too. For Ephrata, you're sitting at 64. Omak is 64. And let's see, in Quincy at the rest area, it's 65 degrees out that way. The hot temperatures will be back early next week, as we have some mild temperatures for the time being, but by next week it's going to get hot, and I mean all kinds of hot. So remember to be very safe, wear your sunscreen, and get plenty of hydration. Don't go anywhere and don't bring water with you. Stay in the shade when you can. For tonight, let's take a look at what we've got coming up. Well, today, sunny and cool, at least what they call cool. What passes for cool these days, 84 degrees. Saturday with a high of 91, a little bit of a breeze kicking up, getting even warmer towards the later part of the weekend. And by the first part of next week, we're back into the mid-hundreds. It's going to be nice and toasty out there. So again, be very cautious and be mindful of sparks. And of course, fire danger is going to be ramping up a little bit. A little bit of that wind along with those warmer temperatures can make things a little bit hairy. So be extremely cautious and careful out there. Programming note reminding you again tonight at 6:30, we will be joining Eric Granstrom as he broadcasts live from Paul Thomas Senior Stadium. Big game for the Wenatchee Apple Sox as they look to try to make the postseason for the first time in 3 years. Live coverage as they take on the Walla Walla Sweets, first game of a 3-game weekend set. That's going to do it for me. Again, I'm Arch Ecker, not Dan Kuntz. Enjoy the rest of your Friday and into the holiday. It's not a holiday. It's a holiday for me, though. Tapping out. Have a great day, everyone.